What's up, Schmoedown fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm former Star Wars champion Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Star Wars competitor Nicki Dimalanta.
We have announcements.
Yeah.
But first, before we get into that, these came in the mail.
Fun.
Yay! We actually got slices.
Yeah.
Even though we joked we were going to get them, but...
Surprise to me. So, that's fun.
Yeah, but thank you everybody for voting. It was fun. It's the, fun little awards that we got.
Yeah.
Just shows appreciation from the fans. It's fun. It's fun
it's a good time.
But yeah, so I don't know if they'll stay up there forever, but maybe we'll find a more permanent spot for them.
Why not? Where else would they go?
I don't know.
In the living room?
Well, they'll stay. Obviously, they'll stay in here, but I don't know where we'll put them. We'll find a spot for them somewhere in here. But anyways, we have a couple of announcements this past week. Factions are starting to form. Announcements have been made and what the season's going to look like this upcoming season.
Because where are we? What's today?
Today's the 20 as this recording.
21st.
It'll be the 21st of this
It's Monday the 21st. Yeah. That means that this weekend is the Smets Challenger match. Right?
Wow.
With that was another announcement, was the undercard for the Smets and Chandru match.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I always just, in my brain, whenever I hear those two names, I just kind of assume it's a number one contender, but it's not a number one contender.
Yeah.
It's an IG match, but it is the much anticipated return of the one and only Kevin the Smasher Smets. Yes. Cannot wait.
Yes.
And he's going against, the chosen Chandru Dandapani, who had,
coming in hot
mental breakdown at Spectacular.
Yeah.
So... I don't think there will be a single match where somebody is being rooted against so intensely.
Yeah,
so
because he's the heel.
Yeah, and he had his little fracture from swag. And we have not yet heard what's going to be happening with him. Is he on a faction? Is he going to be a rogue player? Who knows? He's just an agent of chaos.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see what happens with him. But I mean, if you want to talk about bad versus good, holy crap! But it was. Announced that the undercard of that match, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be a teams match.
Yes.
And it's going to be, I don't remember if he said the name of the faction.
I don't think there was there's no faction, no team name.
Yeah, it's Claudia Dolph and Video Drew versus the Wild Berries.
The return of the Wild Berries.
That should be a lot of fun.
And we'll get into this a little bit with what Harloff showed up on the rundown.
Oh, did he now?
Yes.
The show that's on the channel?
Yes. You're never
the one that won podcast of the year. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that was the one that won podcast of the year. The one that's part of the actual show. Go on.
No, but we're getting more clarity of like how because he basically said the name of the section is Reboot, and it's a more fitting. It's probably the most fitting name he's ever said, because we're basically getting back to square one. Yeah. Of because. Oh, well, let's run down, because first thing is roster cuts. There's going to be 5 people in the faction.
I think a lot of people.
I think last year. I think this is mentioned in last season, but it wasn't really. We were kind of like, do we talk about it or do we not? Because it's not official. It's not. Right. Because I know I heard it, but then it's like, did it come from Harloff's mouth? Did it didn't? So we didn't want to like.
Every time we talked about it, I'm like, I don't know if that's.
I don't know if we're supposed to be talking about this,
but it's out there now.
Yeah. So there's gonna be roster cuts now. Only 5 people per faction, but those rosters aren't locked. People can leave, people can join.
That's the beauty.
They can be rogue players. And that's great, because he wanted to take more weight. He didn't take so much. He wanted to take weight off of manager's shoulders, because
10 people's a lot.
It's a lot of people to handle. And he said it was always, he wanted it to be more entertainment than sports, because when the pandemic hit and we went to digital, it went to like 80% sport to 20% entertainment.
Gotta pivot.
You have to pivot.
And that's okay.
And that was fine, but it got away from what I fell in with what you fell in with Schmoedown for. When you just got into it, it was like a lot of like characters and like storylines, and he's like, we're finally gonna be able to get back to that,
right? And
I'm excited for that,
right? And
it gives us more flexibility, because without this new reboot format, the Wild Bears don't get to come back. I don't know what the real rejects are gonna do. Do they come back, or they whatever? We'll get into that, because we already know who's on whose faction for the most part, for all the factions.
Not really. There's
still a couple that have yet to be announced.
Yeah, but I mean, there's assumptions that can be made for those that haven't been announced yet.
But yeah, you can have people from the S field jump in for one match and then dip out. That's the beauty
of it. If Makuga and Dewberry, they're not really around much, that's okay. Yeah. When they are around, hey, let's have a fun lighthearted match where they just scream into the microphone and have a good time.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. And I know that there are some people that like, they're wondering, what if this person doesn't have a faction, blah, blah, blah. It's okay if you're a rogue player. Yeah. That's the whole beauty of the season. Because if I'm not mistaken, yeah, you're going to have your like traditional factions. You're going to have your...
The faction race.
You're going to have your mercs. You're going to have your corruption. You're going to have your dungeon and all that stuff. You're going to have your exchange, of course. You're going to have all of your factions for the most part. Yeah. But I think there's also, I mean, there's definitely going to be rogue players too. And then also kind of like in wrestling where, you know, just...
Betrayals and yeah.
Well, no, that's not where I'm going. But like say, you know, Makuga just wanted to team up with some random manager. They could just be like two people just running amok doing random stuff. They could make their own little miniature faction. You could team up with a Star Wars player. You and I could team up together and just be Rogue Squadron and just be like, let's just do damage together, alone together.
And I think that's the important point, because like the factions that are forming now, they're still gonna be the faction race. Still be points on the board. But if you're a rogue player, you can just play. It's like, say it's like close and Battle for First is like 3 points away.
And you're like, no, I want to mess this up.
Just mess this up. The person doesn't have a faction. Points don't go anywhere. Right. So I think this is fun. It's more loose. It's more of what I remember the Schmoedown being.
Yeah, I'm really excited for how it's gonna be less rigid.
Yeah.
And because I know that there are some people that are like, I'm worried about too much theatrics, blah, blah, blah. I feel like this happens at the beginning of every season where it's like, I don't know, man, Christian, what are you doing? And then it turns out just fine. So, and this season, like he said, he's probably like almost the most excited about this season. And I think it's for probably great reason, because I'm hoping that this will be like the best we've ever seen Schmoedown.
Hopefully.
Because like before the pandemic, it was like heavy on the storylines, blah, 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 you know, and then pandemic hit and it was like, yeah, kind of have to abandon storylines a little bit. And I feel like now that we're kind of not coming out of it, but kind of coming out of it,
a little more,
it's going to be like just this amalgamation of everything together. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be really interesting to see people like really hit the books hard these last 2 seasons, because it was all about the faction race. Got to win the faction race.
It's all about now. It's like,
And when people not abandon the storyline, but didn't have to focus on storyline too much, it became more about got to study. That's not going to go away, because the competition is still stepped up for all divisions. So it's going to be interesting to see stepped up questions, stepped up difficulty, but also have the storylines back. So I think it's just going to be a very much enhanced version of what we've gotten in the past. It's going to be everything mixed together, and I'm excited to see how it turns out and how rogue players and little mini off factions here and there, because I'm sure they're going to pop up.
Oh, they're going to pop up all over the place.
So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, because like you said, what if corruption or exchange, they're like running away with it and somebody's like, no, don't like that, and they just like, I don't know if you can like challenge somebody to a match.
I just really like the freedom of just random matches that we weren't able to get because of the faction rule,
right?
And I also think like free for all is going to be so much more like flexible now, because like remember the last free for all is like, you need to have so many people, because like what if you load that back half of your roster into like the back half of the numbers and stuff? It's like now it's like, oh, it really doesn't really matter, because the faction race still might mean something, but it's not so much now. It's like competition. We gotta win this. Like still that fire is still there for a lot of us and for a lot of our factions, but like now it's more about like individual play now more so than it was, because that's what it was when it started without the factions. It's like
10 people is just a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot for the managers. And also, you know, I've seen people on both sides of the argument like, I don't want the rosters to be cut down. Other people are like, no, there was too many people. And when there's too much of an influx of new people, somebody might get, you know, 1 or 2 matches. You never see them again. They fade away. And that match means that somebody else who maybe is well known with the fans, maybe they had to take a back, you know, scheduling, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm okay with things being cut down. I don't know. I'm not sure how to say it, but I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it because of, I think, what Christian is so like excited for is more flexibility.
Right. And also, you don't want
more things.
Yeah. And also, when you have too many people, it kind of feels like there's a burden. But it also just feels a little too fluffy, and people get too saturated with matches. Yeah. Too much of a good thing sometimes.
I think that's what last year proved, was like there were so many matches,
which is not a problem.
It's not a problem. Just speaking from an after show point perspective, sometimes we just can't get to everything.
And you got to kind of sacrifice talking about something in depth to make sure you get everything covered.
Exactly.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it's good for everybody. It's good for the brand. So it's very exciting. But let's move on to another big announcement. And it affects you in a pretty big way too. Samm Levine is officially retired now. He came on was last week and he says, I paraphrase, and obviously this is a lot of work to be a manager, to manage 10 players like you just said. He looked at it and said, you know what, it's time to officially fully step away from the game.
Yeah.
So the usual suspects are no more, which leaves a lot of players without a home.
Exactly.
And we'll get to you in a bit, but there's a lot of big players too. Like Drew McQueenie is now a free agent. You know, Ethan Irwin,
Liz Shannon Miller.
We'll get to that. Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. But
Paige for Betty, a hot up and comer. Mm-hmm. You know, you got Amaru Moses, big time IG player.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So where do they end up? The way that the season is structured now, you don't have to have a home. You can play however you want.
And it's maybe even if you play a match by yourself, maybe somebody pick you up later. Who cares?
Exactly.
You know?
So so much flexibility. So, but yeah, it's a bummer that Samm is stepping away because somebody said it in the Facebook group or something, or in the comments. It's like, God, it just doesn't feel like the Schmoedown without Samm Levine when he's at the height of his power.
He's just one of those personalities that's just so important to the game.
Yeah, it's a lot like John Roca stepping away.
Yeah. And I know people are like, what a terrible way to start off the announcements.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's just the one thing when somebody shows up on an after show, it's like, oh, big announcement for this person.
It's like always bad.
It's always a retirement.
Big announcement. Make sure you tune in. Always terrible.
Always terrible. Yeah, unless it's like, oh, I'm going to be doing something else, or rather, but like usually when it's like on the rundown.
Oh, podcast of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Usually when they show up and it's like, oh, I got a big announcement, it's usually like, I have to step away from the game.
Yeah.
That's usually what it is.
I think people are now like absolutely primed that anytime they see a big announcement, they're like, I don't even want to watch because it's going to be bad. Yeah. They're going to leave. It's
going to be bad for the brand, not the brand, but for the show, because somebody's going to be leaving. But
that's what it feels like.
Yeah, multiple reasons for whatever for that person. It's like, well, Sam's probably getting really busy.
And people are now calling for like, oh, the season hasn't even started, but let's give Sam the Yodi.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. But, we'll slow our roll and, but I understand. Sam is a huge part of the game.
Yeah.
But,
it's a bummer.
Things happen, life happens, and that's okay.
He's getting married soon. I see all this stuff on Rachel's Instagram feed and her stories. Like, oh, she's on her pre-wedding girls weekend.
Crazy.
So bachelorette things are happening.
Exciting.
So it's like, ooh, the wedding's getting close. So yeah, he's got a lot of stuff he's got to worry about.
Yeah. And I know that the season's going to have lots of stuff going on to where it's going to be like, yeah, that hurt, but also this is going to happen. Look at all this other fun stuff that's happening. It's
balance in the force. When one door closes, another one opens.
Exactly.
So we'll see what happens. And we'll get to one, a door opened just a couple days ago with a new faction.
Oh, word.
So we'll get to that. So sucks to see Sam go, but what are you gonna do?
It's okay. He's a good guy. I'm sure he'll find a way to stick around in some form because of how important he is.
He'll be around the game. He'll probably be one of those line judges. Can you imagine Sam being a line judge?
He knows the game and he knows the rule book well enough. I could see him popping in. He'll find a way to integrate himself, I'm sure.
That could be a fun way to have him involved in the Schmoedown, but not have to be dedicated to managing or competing or something.
Right.
So moving along to the first faction that was officially announced, who the roster is being filled out with the Quirky Mercs. Koi comes out and the first three are just like, Koi, no duh. Shazam and your boy are still on the Mercs. I think everybody officially knew that. It's like, done. I've been on record saying I'm not going to play for anybody else but Koi Chandru. Yeah. So that was a no-brainer. The next one was kind of a bit of okay. So, because we've all gotten in touch with each other as far as who's on the faction right now. Our IG player is Brandon Hanna.
Brandon the Hornet
Hanna. So that's exciting.
The Green Hornet.
And
is that what it was?
Yeah, it was a Green Hornet. And it's funny because he put on his own little video out there and he's like, oh, yeah, the Hitman's not going to work anymore. I got a hilarious idea. And he's the Hornet because it's a play on that Green Hornet question he missed. So
and the one that he challenged that it shouldn't have been eligible or something like that,
something
even
like
though
that.
it was on the list or something.
Something
I
like
forget
that.
how it went,
But
yeah.
this is interesting and exciting because maybe Han is one of those players where he spent so much time being a heel and he got in his own head, and it worked for one of us. That change of atmosphere of like change of attitude, change of like becoming more relaxed and fun, treating the game like you've known it before to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's very freeing.
Yeah.
So because that attitude just didn't work for me when I was my little stint as a heel.
Yeah.
So
If you can even call it that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes because
be good.
he's always been the bad guy.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he's like, oh, I'm a new man now. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't watch that video. I'm sorry. But like, I'm not very prepared. But yeah, no, I think it's like, new year, new me.
I would like to see, because at the end of his, he was doing it in his car, and at the end of the video, he's like, oh, I got a great idea. And he has a mask and a hat in his glove compartment, like the Green Hornet, and he puts it on. Brendan, please wear that during your matches.
Oh, I got to watch it now.
Please.
That sounds funny.
That'd be a great,
That'd be a great
like,
entrance.
Yeah, great character like thing, because like Roka had the mask and the hat. Like,
okay, wait, Green Hornet.
Mm-hmm.
DC. Marvel.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Don't ask me. I'm not an IG player.
Because
It's.
I mean, wouldn't it be fun
it's
to have like
anything.
a Shazam and Green Hornet? I'm sure Bibiani would have like a fun entrance going on
Oh yeah.
with
Only because Green Hornet. You know what the Green Hornet, because Bruce Lee.
how.
No.
Wait,
Green
I'm thinking of Green Lantern.
Green Lantern, yeah.
Oh
No,
man,
but Green Hornet
I don't know
was-
what Green
Hornet
Lantern
was
is
an
then.
old TV show, and I can't remember, the 70s?
Wasn't it a movie?
No, it was a TV show. Bruce Lee was on it.
What?
Yeah.
I don't.
Kato.
I apparently don't know anything about Green Hornet.
Look it up.
I was thinking Green Lantern with the rings and Ryan Reynolds. That's not the same thing.
I think it'd be a fun entrance if you know, if I was out in LA and for an entrance, I can be Kato.
Wait a minute, it has to be a movie. They asked about it.
Yeah, it was. They remade it with what's his name?
Busey.
No,
That's what that sounded like to me.
Stoner dude,
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Okay.
Yeah, they remade it with him, and
Okay, now I got what that laugh was. Okay, now it sounds like him.
Yeah, sorry.
But
I don't
my
do
brain went to
impressions.
Busey first.
yeah, but yeah, that'd be a fun entrance. I can come out and be Bruce Lee.
Sure.
Probably not, but
Probably
whatever.
Probably not. But I
But
appreciate
that's the
thought.
one thing I asked Brandon. Just wear the hat and mask for all your matches.
I got to go back and watch that now because
Yeah.
that sounds like fun.
That'd be a fun thing. But also, so we had, those are our four, right? We had
Right.
we have Shazam, we have Stars player, we have IG player, but then there's that, the fifth
Flexy
the
type.
flexy type of player that could be a team and a singles,
Right.
or a team and IG.
Mhm.
An offer, not official yet, but an offer was extended to Liz Shannon Miller. Yeah. So if this ends up being our five,
Sniping up the first suspect or potentially.
yeah, ooh,
Yeah.
if this is the five, this is a fun group. This is a really fun and hard hitting group.
Yeah.
People that know their stuff, champions and former champions, people that have contended for titles. It's a strong group.
Absolutely. And I think that they were giving Liz some time because, if she joins the Mercs, then that means that obviously the suspects are dissolved at this point.
Yeah.
But she could have been like, I'm sorry, Ethan and I are a package deal.
Yeah, that's true.
So she's got to take that into consideration. Like, if I join the Mercs, then that means that I'm severing ties with Ethan as a teammate.
Mm-hmm.
So unless something happens, maybe she says yes to the Mercs, and then later on it's like, never mind, and then finds Ethan.
Yeah, maybe
Who
she
knows?
just wants to focus on singles. Doesn't mean she has to team up with somebody.
That's true. That's very true. So the offer is out there. I guess Liz is deliberating.
We'll see.
She's quirky. She's got a hat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a fun group.
Yeah, got a cat named Tank Girl. That's quirky.
Yeah.
So I think she'd be a good fit for that.
It's on brand.
The only person who's like, is Brandon, because it's like Quirky Mercs.
No,
but he's a new man now.
Yeah, but you look at that video and you look at his past promos. He's been very loose. He's been looser than than normal when he was like straight lace hitman. So,
Gotta have
and
a
another thing
good
that I thought it was funny was in that video was like, oh, hitman's not gonna work. You can't have a hitman on the Mercs, but you have a hunter
And a beast.
and a beast.
A little violent, but the Hornet. Why not?
That's fun. But
Got
yeah.
alliteration.
So
Alliterative names are always
that's the first official awaiting one more person, but full roster.
I don't think we've had a full roster.
I don't think
yet
we had
to be
a full
announced,
roster, yeah.
So, which is fun and all part of the build up.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to the next faction. The Dungeon announces. So Kaiser comes out, and I think the first one was Yeah, no, duh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and think he's staying with Kevin Smets.
Kevin Smets for your IG player. He's on a shorter path to the title. Why not? You guys, they're best friends.
Yeah.
I've talked to both Kevin and Kaiser. It's like, yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah.
They've been together forever. They've been friends forever. So why not?
Of course. And it doesn't hurt that Kevin is one of the best IG players in the game.
Yeah.
So it makes it work. Oh, and he's just one of the best that there is. So.
Exactly. So, and the next next name that he announced is his Star Wars player. Nicki Dimalanta has found her way to the dungeon.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's true.
That was kind of unexpected. Spoiler alert, we knew that.
No, what are you talking about? I found out that day.
But that's exciting. You get to be
very exciting.
I've been trying to get on the fact, every time I try to do something, you've gone and done it instead of me.
Only because you paved the way for me.
Try to win my first match. Didn't win my first 2 matches. You go undefeated, 2 spectacular. I've been trying to get the spectacular for 3 years. You did it in your first. I've been trying to talk to Kevin to get me in the dungeon with him. Boom. Guess you're gonna do it.
A. Dimalanta was destined to be on the dungeon.
Yeah, A. Dimalanta was destined to be with Kevin Smets and Kaiser, but that's gonna be exciting.
By proxy, if I'm on the dungeon, you're like in-laws with Kevin and Kaiser. So but yes, the rumors are true. I'm on the dungeon.
Yeah,
now,
I mean,
so.
that's gonna be a fun study session with him.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. And we're going to be setting up something soon, I'm sure. I already joined the Discord and it's already like boop, 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 message. And I'm like, hell yeah. I see a notification from Kaiser and Kevin Smets on my phone. I'm like, hell yeah.
You're ahead of us. All we have is a Twitter chain. I mean, that's the way it's always been, but.
Yeah, it's true though.
Oh,
I'm going to be training the dungeon.
Yeah. And there's a comment that somebody said, especially on my Instagram thing, I posted this stuff and Babyface of the year, not for long. It's you really think that having you and Kevin Smets on the dungeon is going to be a heel team or a heel faction?
Yeah, you really think anyone's going to look at Kevin as a bad guy?
Yeah, no, there's no way, especially coming back the way he did. There's no way the dungeon is going to be.
He's
heel
just a
faction.
good guy with an edge. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I've a couple people have made that comment oh, well, I gotta see a little bit of heel tendencies come out. I'm like,
no,
I don't know, probably not, but. Anything can happen, but
I just don't see that with the way that Kevin's story has been just injected into his life story has been injected into the Schmoedown story.
He's just no way. He is a through and through hero.
Mm-hmm.
So in and out of the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure because somebody was like, "Oh, does that mean the dungeon's taking a face turn?" I'm like, I don't know if it's not as black and white as that. The dungeon has always just been I kind of just have an attitude. I kind of just have a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
So having an attitude doesn't make you a heel.
Yeah.
No, it
not
doesn't.
Really.
Kevin's got an edge to him. I don't think he's a heel.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hero. So just because you have a little bit of bite, to your game doesn't make you a heel.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think it's oh, the dungeon's we're not gonna be skipping out with lollipops in our entrances,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always thought the dungeon was one of those kind of in between. I will not say that word.
The tweener.
Ew. I always figured dungeon was kind of one of those in between ones.
Toeing the line. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Kaiser, the trash mouth himself, what they
Dicky doos.
He's hilarious. I cannot believe that I get to work with this man. I'm so excited.
I'm jealous in certain ways, but I'm completely. I've never been happier than when I joined the Mercs because it fits me so well.
Oh yeah.
There's somebody posted my last TikTok on there. It's this is exactly why this dude's in Mercs. Yep.
Check out Andrew's last TikTok. It's him and the Falcon with Chewie. I won't say anymore. Check out the
Facebook group. It's on there, or just go to my TikTok page.
It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'm very excited. And when we have our Skype calls and Zoom calls, I'll let you say hi and whatever.
Yeah, but that's not all because there's only 2 names I named. But then there was this curious set of not demands, but this curious set of circumstances.
Yeah.
With Danger Zone.
Yeah.
So I think Ben and Dan were yeah, no, we're just. It was a good shot.
We tried. We had our fun.
We both came so close at certain points. I mean, Dan won the title back, but then he lost it to Ethan. I think they were just like, yeah, we're moving on from the dungeon because it just didn't work. But Kaiser's comes out, was like, well, I have this offer out there. All you gotta do is come back from one match. You win one match, you
against
go
any team,
any
right?
team, doesn't matter who, and you go straight to a number one contender match. So it's like,
What a deal!
how did you?
Like, what's the catch?
Yeah, there has to be some kind of, it's like, watch it be like a monster team they have to go up against. But
yeah, because I mean, put me against the Wild Berries, you know?
Yeah.
So there's got to be some kind of a stipulation.
There has to be a catch
that we're gonna.
Yeah, but that's interesting. It's like, and they didn't say yes, so we'll see how that pans out. So that's good. Already there's some certain things that have happened. Like, it feels like old Schmoedown, like we'll see type things.
Right, I love it.
Yeah,
and as much as people are like, "Oh, come on,"
yeah,
you gotta admit the anticipation is part of the fun.
Yeah, it's fun. So like, let it pan out and play out. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, interesting.
It's almost like there's a plan.
We haven't heard anything from Dan, but it was all about Ben saying, "Well, we'll see. Let me talk to Dan and we'll see what happens."
Kaiser offers him a bag of pistachio and he's like, "I'll think about it."
So that's the dungeon. So the next one we got was the exchange, my former faction. Couple of no-brainers. I pretty much their entire roster, minus one, was basically a no-brainer. Keeping King Arthur,
of course.
Keeping the Barbarian,
and King Arthur, of course, being Downtown Griffey Nooms and King Khan.
Yeah, or Downtown Arthur Nooms.
Right, in teams.
In teams, these Arthur Nooms. So you're keeping King Arthur, you're keeping Barbarian.
Of course.
I assume Barbarian will be their IG player.
I would assume.
I can only assume so. Obviously, keeping Gold Leader. If you would let Gold Leader go,
first of all, he's terrifying as a competitor.
Fits that faction so perfectly.
And that's the second of all, is that I don't think he should work with anybody but Gucci. They are perfect for each other. I
mean, the guy made it to finals of 2 tournaments in 1 year.
He's terrified.
Yeah.
Like, there's no two ways around it. So no, that was an absolute, as far as Star Wars goes, no brainer. So yeah,
and I think I've covered my bases before when Gold Leader first was making the rounds on Facebook beginning of last season, and we're like,
who is this guy?
Okay, slow your roll, kid. Let's see what you got. It's like, okay, all
right, you're good. I get
just
it.
Put my foot in my mouth.
Chill out. I get it.
Everybody just chill.
Nice jacket. Also, I saw a picture of him on Facebook when he was like a wee tot.
Oh,
you know,
my God.
And he was with I'm assuming his brother, and they were holding a tiger, a baby tiger. I'm so jealous. I gotta show it to you. It's pretty cute. And then Gold Leader put like a link to a YouTube video for like a Tiger King song. This guy is. That's my sense of humor. But yeah, no. Yeah. He held a tiger. He's good at Star Wars. He's on the exchange. Nice. What more can you ask for from this guy?
But the last spot, we assumed JTE.
Sure.
But the announcement kind of made it sound like JTE's not on the exchange. Because I have in my notes JTE not exchange ?
Did he actually talk about him by name?
He said that it doesn't. He said, like, I have one thing to say to JTE, it doesn't matter. It's like, what?
Yeah,
because it's like because that would have been like a no-brainer squad. Like, oh yeah, you get your team that went to Spectacular. You have your Barbarian, who we've already talked how much that guy works.
Of course, and he went
and how much improvement he made this past season.
Got to the finals of the tremendous singles tournament, right?
Yeah.
And also flexes. Well, I mean, I don't know if he's flexing. I don't know what Barbarian would consider to be like his like number one division. I don't know if he would consider himself to be an IG player who also plays singles and teams, or a singles player who also happens to play IG. I'm not sure how.
I think it's singles first, then IG.
Maybe.
But with the way this squad is laid out, I imagine they're going to be that IG player. But he can also just swing it in singles. And he's very good at it too. So
if I had to make a guess for the 5th,
that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know if JTE is not on the exchange. I was kind of like,
if I had to make my guess for the 5th, I mean, if he's saying something weird like that to JTE, I mean, of course, there's the potential for somebody who wasn't on the exchange previously. But if it was somebody on the exchange previously, doesn't Radis have a big match coming up?
That's true too.
And isn't he undefeated?
Yeah.
And isn't he a hilarious character that somehow, even though he's a heel, matches up with Gucci real nice?
Yeah.
So I could see. I mean, it might be too obvious. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the cards. Do you let go of a legend like JTE and like keep rolling with Radis?
Yeah,
because it's kind of like you got to let somebody go. You can't have a sixth person. You got to have your roster's full.
Yeah, you just made me think of something else. We'll come back to it. But yeah, no. What are you gonna do? So you let go of a legend. You put your eggs in your basket with
who's got a short path to the belt.
Got a short path to the belt. Not yet a loss on his record.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We'll see.
So, or it could be somebody who wasn't even on the exchange last year. So that's the beauty of all this buildup. What you made me think of is that another. Oh my God! I just got so tired. Like my eyes are so heavy.
We just got done like cleaning our garage out.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I was lifting stuff, picking things up and putting them down.
So productive this weekend. I replaced the sink.
You
with my dad.
fixed the sink. You fixed the potty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we cleaned out the garage.
Parents, grown-up things.
Just getting done, you know?
Homeowners.
It comes with its baggage, but it's great. It's great. Hashtag blessed. The Mercs.
Yes.
Kevin Smith.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that. So with Kevin Smith, he is not officially a Merc, but Koi is available to advise him when he does play.
Right.
So
the beauty of the flexibility of this season.
Exactly. So you can have people manage, like, I don't know if you can have like players manage each other, but it's possible.
Maybe.
There's no rule against it.
Yeah.
So that's with the flexibility of this season, Koi can still help Kevin Smith through his journey through Schmoedown.
Right. So I took that as we will hopefully see Kevin Smith a couple times this year. It's just
hopefully.
Busy dude, I guess.
Yeah.
And then when he does pop up, Koi will be there to advise him, but he just won't be representing the Mercs.
Yes. Yeah. So we won't get those points if he wins.
So, you know.
Anyways.
It is what it is.
So,
but yeah, that was the exchange. Who knows? Could be JTE, but if Gucci's making weird comments, maybe not.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think maybe Radis. I don't know, but something makes me feel that's too obvious.
We could see some, like you said, somebody that's
maybe somebody who wasn't even on the exchange.
Yeah, just pop up and jump back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
maybe Gucci will pick up. No, I was gonna say maybe he'll pick up Chandra, but no, he's already got Craig.
Yeah, he's already got Craig.
Barbarian.
Sorry.
It
happens when you know people in real life.
How embarrassing for me.
Okay, but the last announcement that I have on here, the one that I think was on the channel was a new challenger emerges, a new faction
emerges.
Headed by Adam Witt, which I think we all saw this coming.
10,000 miles away.
Yeah. And his faction name is the Fan Favorites.
Not a huge fan of that name.
Me neither.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure there are people out there that love it and they're eating it up, and that's good for them, and I'm happy that they like it.
Yeah.
Personally, not a fan.
Not a fan.
I think there's other potential.
I mean,
especially when you got a last name like Witt, that can go with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And also, nicknames Razor, I feel like that opens.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have been piloting the Razor crest, you know?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Sarlacc Witt. Somebody else had something. Somebody else had some sort of a wit pun. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of potential with a last name and a nickname like that, but I get it.
Yeah.
You know, wouldn't be my choice, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I think. It already happened.
Yeah, but as of right now, nobody on the faction.
Right.
I think he knows who he wants or if he's gotten people, he just doesn't want to announce it just yet. He's like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. My goodness. Oh, bless you.
Sorry.
Bust
held
out the
it in
swabs.
as long as I could.
Bust out the swabs. We got to see what's going on there. No, that was just pollen.
Yeah,
we were just kicking up a lot of pollen in the garage.
But yeah, so nobody on there just yet. If I had to guess, Parker maybe.
That would be my first
Parker
guess.
would probably the first guess
because he's going to feel slighted by Kaiser.
Mm-hmm.
And they were Kaiser and Witt, or Parker and Witt were faction mates last year.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, I know you're hurting. Oh God, bless you. Like,
sorry.
Come here, baby. I'll give you a home.
Yeah.
Kaiser kicked you to the curb. I'll take you in. You know? So I could see that definitely.
Maybe Paul Preston reunites with his buddy.
Wouldn't that be fun? Then could Witt manage and play?
Yeah.
Maybe you get the movie guys back together.
That's true. And that's another thing. Managers can't play.
Exactly. So
you got to fill that spot on your roster. So,
maybe he picks up Preston. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of potential there. Brand new faction. So I'm excited. This whole one announcement a week is killing me. Like, how are we not getting more? Like, maybe at least 2 weeks. It feels like there's so much more to get through, but I know it's coming in due time. It just is like, oh my God, come on.
Yeah, we have yet to see who, because, the Den, we already know Harper's staying with the Den, but they basically imploded.
Right. Corruption, I'm sure we all know what's going to happen there.
I'm pretty sure we know what's going to happen there.
I'm almost surprised. It almost makes me think that there's going to be some sort of a surprise, because you figure you're going to announce the ones that are like, yeah, duh, first.
I think if I was going to speculate, it's going to be, exactly who. It's going to be Chance, Mike, Marisol, Adam,
and probably Laura.
They're going to bring back Laura. So I think that's what it's going to look like.
Is that too predictable? I don't know. But it just seems predictable. And it seems like, yeah, no, duh. Why wouldn't you? They were corruption last year.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, those 4 players, Mike, Chance, Marisol, and Adam, they were corruption last year for the most part.
And then you just get your Star Wars player back that you tried to get back last year, just couldn't.
And you've been constantly talking about the whole time. Yeah. So you might as well. But the fact that it just seems like if I was running the show, I'd do the more obvious things first. Like, Koi's announcing his faction. Yeah, I'm going to announce Shazam and Dimalanta first, because everyone's like, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, why are we saving corruption when we already know what's going to happen? Maybe we don't know what's going to happen.
Maybe something surprising happens with that faction.
Exactly. Because I know we had the old bait and switch of Spectacular where it looked like Chance was about to get the boot, but he didn't. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe I just figure you do the duh stuff first.
Yeah.
But maybe the fact that they haven't done it yet means there's going to be a little shakeup or something.
And we also haven't heard anything about Swag yet either.
Or the Stars.
Yeah, that's right. There's so many factions. Jesus. Yeah. So, I mean, we can talk all day on those, but like, because, Paul's on there. I don't know if he's going to be teaming up with
Oyama.
Yeah, Oyama. I don't think he's going to be partnering with Lon Harris. I think they said they were done.
They might be done.
Who's on the Stars? The Stars are in rough shape because they didn't do well last season.
Andraco retiring. You had Snyder retiring. Alex Damon. Is she going to want to hang on to him? I imagine so.
I imagine so.
I think it'd be pretty silly to be like, no thanks on Alex Damon.
Yeah, it's
Pass.
they had a rough season.
Yeah,
but it's not like the players on there that didn't retire weren't capable.
Exactly.
There was she hasn't
Janine played for the Stars.
Yeah,
she had a great year.
Jacoby Bancroft.
Yeah,
he didn't do badly either.
No.
So there's some people on what's his name that they picked up from the FCL. Nick Harley.
Yeah.
Didn't do bad either.
No.
So there's a squad. There is a formidable squad there. It's just you gotta maybe brush off a couple things because they just didn't have a good season. It just came so unfortunate circumstances. So we'll see what happens with those squads. But there's plenty more announcements because we.
Oh God, that's why I'm like, oh my God, give us more than one. Come on.
Yeah.
We got a lot to get through.
Yeah.
But I know there's a method to the madness. Yeah. So, I'll be patient, even though I'm not patient.
Yeah, but it's going to be an exciting year. I mean, it's not going to look too different for our faction, but yours, I'm excited to see how you shape out with the dungeon because it's going to be
hell yeah,
fun.
Me too.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, so shorter episode this week. We'll go ahead and end here. But before we get out of here, let's try to find a way to transition out of this because I didn't want to start the show off with this.
We'll find a way.
But unfortunate events, not unfortunate, but like.
Well, unfortunate, yes,
yeah,
but disappointing events.
Disappointing events have been happening throughout our community. We're such a small community, and it's hard to avoid stuff like this when it happens.
Yeah.
But everybody already knows what's going on. I'm not gonna try to paraphrase this.
And
stuff.
There's no need to.
No
go
need
into
No
details or anything.
No need to name names or anything like that. But yeah, there's been some unfortunate events that have been happening and that been happening in our community, and it's disappointing. It's
disappointing, inexcusable,
and I just didn't want to come out and tweet something that
I know that you didn't want to be impulsive.
Yeah, I didn't want to be impulsive. I like, especially when it's something like this that's very like.
Okay, wait. I have a thing that maybe this will help you find your words.
Yeah,
I know that when something happens with like some big social issue behind it or surrounding it, there's usually like a group of people that are involved and then other groups of people that aren't directly involved I'm gonna see if I can make this make sense. Like, I feel like when things were first starting to happen, you were like, I'm not sure what I want to say.
I don't want to jump to conclusions.
I don't want to, well, not that, but like, I don't want to be impulsive. And I know you also are kind of like, this isn't really an issue where my voice needs to be heard. This is more of an issue where like maybe a woman's voice,
like your voice has much more weight than mine.
You know, like earlier last year when a lot of stuff was happening within the Asian community, I didn't want to like rush to come out here and say something because it's not my voice that needs to be heard. Yeah. My voice needs to amplify those that need to be heard, but my voice isn't the one that needs to be heard. So I know that when this was happening, you were like, my voice doesn't really need to be heard on this. Yeah. But I do want to find a way to support those who
absolutely
are the ones being affected by this. Although an important point to make is in this type of discussion with like feeling safe and sexual harassment, all that kind of stuff, it's not just a woman's issue. It's happens to people of all different you know, orientations, backgrounds. It happens to everybody. This just so happens to have been, this specific issue happens to be surrounding women. Yeah. So
I think that I think that's something like I would like to echo, but like really I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want to be impulsive and be like, you know,
jump to conclusion
and be like too hard, too quickly and just write off somebody like, well, that's it. Boom, you're done. It's like, I think really what it boils down to is one, it's not entirely my business what somebody does in their personal life, but do I support the actions and the what happened in these situations? Absolutely not. It's not, the behavior is not unacceptable. Yeah. But I think what we should all take, especially people that everybody, not just the people involved, but everybody commenting and, you know, just trying to let their voices be heard in the situation. I think everybody, not just the people that are affected, but everybody that's watching, we all can learn something from this. Absolutely. Everybody can, the people that are directly involved with this, I'm sure they've learned life lessons. Everybody involved can learn something from this situation.
Even those of us not involved. Exactly. Those of us just kind of watching from the sidelines. Yeah. Everybody can take something away from this. Yeah. I think anytime something like this happens in any community, there's always a takeaway.
Look at the entire situation, all the events that went down, all the reactions, everything. Take a step back for a second and see what we all collectively can do and learn from the situation to make a safer environment for everybody. Right. Because I remember people were coming out like, oh, Christian and Mark need to do this. It's like, all right, take that statement, take a step back. What's the first step? What do you want them to do and because what
exactly are your expectations?
What were your expectations and what is the end goal? Right. Because Christian and Mark and everybody involved, the higher ups at the Schmoedown, they can only do so much to prevent this kind of stuff from happening. Yeah. And they don't have eyes everywhere. They can't be like checking in from, hey, make sure you're not doing this, make sure you're not doing that. And they can't control
adults in what they do in their personal day-to-day lives.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of where these events rooted in was personal stuff. And that's why I say, when it comes to time, it's not my place sometimes to say and what people should and shouldn't do. So
the line's a little blurred. Yeah, the line's a little bit blurred. It is involved with the Schmoedown. Let's be honest about that. The line got blurred, and that's where a lot of people took issue because the line did get blurred there. If you catch my drift. So, but yeah, there is. If we're being honest, there is Christian and Mark only have so much power within their community, and if you really think that they were going to sit back and not say or do anything, I feel like we all know better than that. Yeah, and like you said. I think that they were kind of like, waiting. We don't want to make like a knee-jerk thing because they have to do all their own stuff. There's HR stuff and blah, blah, blah. So I wouldn't look at like, well, they're not saying anything as like apathy. No, they're just preparing and figuring out what they do need to do. And I would rather them take care and put thought into their actions than just knee-jerk be like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll do this.
Here, everybody happy? It's like, no, that's not how we grow as a community. That's
the smart thing to do for their perspective is to look, analyze, make a plan, and then enforce that plan. And that doesn't happen overnight. Yeah. So, but since then, there's been a lot of developments, blah, blah, blah. Christian and Mark and the Schmoedown and I think Skybound have all made statements and they're taking measures to make things safer and keep people.
And disciplinary actions have been made and all that stuff. I would implore everybody not just the people that were affected, not the people people overseeing the situation, everybody in our community. Just try to take a step back and learn from what happened and try to make this community better.
Yeah.
Because I think that's in any form of life, we've been through so much things in our personal life. Yeah. One thing that comes out of tragedy is
I like to think there's usually a silver lining.
There's a silver lining. People, when things happen in your personal life, you grow as a person. You can't, there's this one amazing thing that I heard on TikTok. I was like, you can't, when you put a seed on the concrete, what happens? Nothing. You got to put dirt on it. You got to nurture it. Yeah. You don't grow unless you get dirt on you.
Yeah.
So let's take the situation and hope we can get better from it and learn from it and make this community better.
There's a lot of lessons to be learned here. Yeah. So, and I think one of the biggest overarching lessons that I wish people would take from this is because while this behavior inexcusable, and it has no space in our community and it shouldn't be okay. And I hope it won't be, moving forward. But like, even overarching that, it's kind of like, I know that it happened, statements were made, and a lot of attacking was going on both parties.
Yeah.
And then it extended to more than just both of them. A lot of attacks from every which way. Isn't the root of this
hate?
To be better to each other?
Yeah.
So, I know that sometimes it's hard to take the high road and you want to just kind of cast stones when you can.
Yeah.
But I feel like the root of what we're talking about is that behavior, do better, be better. And let's practice what we're preaching. You're not, what are you accomplishing by screaming at somebody online? I mean, a well thought out, calm, civil response is going to hurt a million times more than calling somebody an a-hole on the internet and telling them to F off. That would be like the biggest overarching thing that I hope people take from this, apart from the, the specifics of what happened. I think the big overarching thing that we're trying to get, the message we're trying to get to is just to be better to each other.
Learn and be better.
And I think that even people watching from the sidelines can take that, attacking, not necessary. It might feel good. It might feel cathartic in that moment, but it's probably not going to accomplish much.
Yeah.
Let's just be better. If we're expecting that person to be better and do better, how about we do it too? I'm not one for dogpiling. And just because you're not one for dogpiling doesn't mean that you're accepting what's going on. I just think that there's a more mature, adult, civil way to go about teaching and learning lessons rather than just calling you names. Yeah.
It's a short burn. It's like, oh, you feel good now, but then it doesn't really accomplish anything.
What is it accomplishing?
Yeah.
I seriously think that a well thought out barb is going, if you want to get through to somebody, a well thought out, it's just like, would you rather your parents yell at you or just tell you that they're disappointed?
Yeah. Parenting 101.
Good Lord.
Yeah. That stings so much. It has such more lasting effects and it makes you grow as a person.
Exactly. And it just causes more hurt to lash out.
Yeah.
But it makes you learn more of a lesson for a long term when you have a more calm, not quite as heated,
thoughtful approach to
that's how we tend to operate. If you're just amped up and you're pissed off, that's not the time to settle the score and talk about it.
Yeah.
Take a step back.
Take a step back, yeah.
Think about what you want to say and why you want to say it, and then come back and work it out in a diplomatic way. I feel like I'm kind of getting off course, but I also still feel like it's kind of relevant to the situation.
Yeah, it's relevant to the situation. That's the thing I always say. Just
always be better.
Always be better. Learn from what happened. Because there's always a lesson to be learned in anything that happens.
Always a lesson to be learned. Definitely.
So
no matter
whether you forgot a name that you're supposed to remember for a stupid question, or
in the
Schmoedown, or it's a life lesson in a situation where both parties can learn from it. So
there's always something to be learned.
Always something, and
usually a silver lining. So I hope that people are able to find that silver lining in this and learn and grow.
Yes.
So
we
can leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
But also, it does suck to forget a name in the Schmoedown. So
it certainly does.
I will use that as a segue,
yes.
if I may. That does suck, but you do learn a lesson.
Yes.
So
yeah, let's go ahead and get out of here. A shorter-ish episode. Try to get through it.
Never works.
We'll see what happens next week with the debut of this next season. The season will finally open.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be great.
I can't wait because now I'm teammates with the Smasher. Like, that's so cool.
I'm not jealous at all. I got bibs from the kid.
Oh, well, they're I'm jealous that you get to call them teammates. So we get to be jealous of each other just in different ways. But I'll say hi on your team calls and you can say hi on mine. That'll be our solution.
Anyway, so Star Wars competitor on the dungeon, Nicki Dimalanta. Where can they find you online?
Well, you can find me in the dungeon training in the shadows with Kaiser and Kevin and whoever else joins us, but also on Twitter at Dimmy, DIMMMYYY.
As for me, Twitter and Instagram at Drew Dimalanta, and on TikTok at Rogue Leader Drew. Got hit with bots, went back down to 24, close to 2,500 again.
Bots.
Want to get to 5,000 before celebration, so go follow me there. Having so much fun again. So if you're listening to this on audio form, please follow the feed and rate us.
If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon in the lower right-hand corner. See when we do things on YouTube. We'll do a rad this week too, I think.
Hopefully, yeah. I'd like to make that a weekly thing. I think we promised the weekly thing.
Word.
So let's do it. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We'll see you guys next time.